Good morning, beloved saints. I wanted to share something that happened. I wasn't going to share it with you because it's going to be like, well, that's a quality problem, Renee. It's like because we've been through so much like real stuff. I thought it was just another attack from the enemy to discourage me or whatever. But now I've thought about it. But I thought you guys might relate to this, and I'm just using what happened yesterday as an example of applying this. Now, I don't know, some of the new viewers may not know, but 2 years ago, we lost our home to a fire. Even my car melted in the driveway. It burned down the side of my neighbor's home. All my pet kitty cats died. My goldfish. I can't even talk about their death. So I still haven't. Mm-mm. So, we had to live in a hotel and like everything was going wrong and it was during COVID. And so I couldn't rebuild and I was running out of money because I couldn't get permits because nobody was working. And it was just one problem after another trying to live in a hotel with a traumatized, vicious pit bull and my son. It was really hard. But praise God, He strengthened me through all of it. Never hurt my faith. It worked in the opposite direction. But I've had one issue after another. And I keep hearing that, well, if you would just stop contending for the gospel, life would be a lot easier. And I can't do that. I can't do that. And I know that God has my life. My life is literally in God's hands. And that's all I should fear is God. But I keep having these aggravations, one thing after another, like ridiculous things like tax bills coming in that shouldn't have come in, all kinds of problems, mix ups at like the water company, as if I didn't pay my bills, but I have to go down there and prove with my receipt. And then it's like always something just taking me away from what I'm trying to do. And yesterday, I get a phone call. Now, mind you, I've been with the same insurance company for many years. I've had rental policies to cover my, if I was renting. I've had homeowners insurance on two different homes. This will be the third home I've had. I've had all my auto insurance with them. But after the fire, they want to get rid of you. They don't want, even though it wasn't my fault and it wasn't due to negligence. They don't like paying out to have to replace people's homes. So I was forced to buy a smaller house and move to another city because the housing was so expensive there. And they decreased what I was going to get because I couldn't rebuild. I wanted to rebuild on my land, but I couldn't get the COVID was happening and I couldn't get anybody to do anything. Nobody was at work. And it just took forever. And finally, I had to say, I can't build. I'm running out of money to exist on. It's been almost a year. So I went and found a house, and that was very difficult because the corporations are buying up all the individual homes, hoping to flip them and then raise the price of it, or either rent them out to people through Section 8, which brings the property value down of the neighborhoods. It's just been crazy. But I bought this home that's a lot smaller. And in some ways, it's advantageous. It's easier to care for with the heating and the cooling and stuff. So I did that, and it was in pretty bad shape, but I did a lot of work on it. I invested a ton of money into this house to get it. I had to knock a wall down and all that because the bedroom wasn't even big enough to put a bed in. So I had to put two together. And it had come with an in-ground pool that I needed to refurbish. But it was so much. It was as much as starting from scratch. So it was almost $50,000 to renovate it. So I put a large amount of cash down to start the renovations. Then it came back that it was going to cost a lot more. So I still needed, I guess, like 25 grand or something to finish it. So I told the insurance company, because they're weird about pools, they insisted I build a 6-foot fence now. So I built this big 6-foot wooden fence around a half an acre of my land. And It has locks on it. Then they said, no, you got to put a camera too. So I put a camera, I put an alarm. I did everything they told me to do. And I started renovation. So they did half of the pool. They drained it. They started patching up the holes. They were going to replace the pump and all that and make it a saltwater pool. And I really wanted that for my son. And I could do my physical therapy. I'm disabled. I'm doing way better than I was. I was in a wheelchair completely, but I slowly went on walker and then a cane, and now I walk without one unless it's longer distances. I might need one because my hip will give out. But I don't have cartilage in my right sacroiliac joint, and the rest of my joints and bones were eaten by MRSA when I had sepsis, and so I have a lot of pain. But I can swim for physical therapy. So I was like, oh great, I can do my physical therapy at home. And I was very excited about it. But I ran out of money. I had to do renovations. I had to do everything the insurance told me to do. And so what I was trying to do was finish paying off the debt, because I didn't, I had to go into debt for some things. I had to replace everything. The insurance does give you money to replace stuff, but some stuff, I still had to go into debt. And it's not too much, several grand, we'll say that I had to put on my, credit accounts. And so I was paying those off. And I said, well, when that's done, then I'll put in a loan to finish the pool. Oh no. They called me and said, we're dropping you. I just wanted to let you know we're canceling your homeowner's insurance. Now, because I had a fire in which all of it was total loss, no insurance would take me for a couple of years. No other insurance. They don't want to insure my home because I had a total loss incident. And with the stuff going on in Florida and California, they're really tightening up on home insurance because it's costing them. They did the same thing to my sister with a gate that was broken. So they sent me, you're going to be getting a 30-day notice. And I was devastated because I can't get home insurance right now because I know this because because they tried to drop me at first. And I was like, that's so wrong of you guys. I've been with you for years with many homes. I haven't filed any claims. But when I file a claim, now you drop me. In a tragic time, now you drop me, right? So finally, they went ahead and said, yeah, because I already still had 4 other policies with them, but they were still going to refuse to insure my new house. So I finally got through that hell. I was in total anxiety and fear because I had put in for the home insurance on a new home before I even got the house. And so here was a house, and it was sitting here for 1 week without insurance. I could not breathe that week, by the way. So I finally got it and told them, and I kept them updated with the renovations. You got 30 days to renovate the pool. And your other option is you've got to fill it in with dirt and dismantle it. I didn't have 25 grand. I can't take out a loan. The only offers I got for loans were 35% interest, which is predatory, and I cannot afford it on disability. I'm very good with managing my finances because I live on limited income and I have to take care of a child. And so I was like, I don't have 25 grand to get the. Well, they're going to drop you. I'm sorry. So my dad was relieved because he wants me to fill in the pool because he said somebody's going to get hurt. They're going to come over and fall down and sue you and you're going to lose everything. He's just scared like that. But I was like, no, Dad, I needed it for it. Plus, Jim is young. It'd be great for him. And I cleaned it up and done everything. Removed the sliding board and all that. I mean, it was so nice. It was ready to go. And I was just waiting to finalize paying off this debt to get that loan and finish it, right? They won't give me the time. So now I was so upset because I had to come up with the money to fill in the pool. So an excavation or pool demolition place, can't just pour dirt in it because it'll turn into a sinkhole. And if you're not careful and pull the pipes out and pack it tight, then it can start moving toward the foundation of your home and it can shift and bring it down. So either way, I had to come up with close to 20 grand. And what I really wanted was the pool to be fixed. Nope. So I had to come up with a large sum of money. Not quite 20,000, but between 10 and 20. How about that? So, what's your point, Renee? I'll get to it. So anyway, I thought, oh man, another thing. I can't get through a week. And there was a time a few weeks ago I was very sick, and it was just one thing after another coming at me financially, emotionally, loss, people I care about dying or sick. And I'm just like, oh, just get depleted, right? But then I thought, and I did text my friend, and I said, just calm me down because I know I'm just being stupid because this is such a quality problem, my swimming pool, right? But it's not like that. It's just my home insurance. I was scared about my home insurance. And because of this, I'm going to lose the 15 grand cash that I put down and started the renovations with. So all the renovation work they did, pointless. I'm losing it. So, and I'm having to go into debt for more. And so that bummed me out. However, I had to change my attitude about it. Now, I'm sharing this story because it's not one of my devastating, make you want to cry stories, because I've been through some horrific stuff. And some of you may know my testimony. You can go to Brother Luke's channel. It's called Brother Luke, not the I Am Brother Luke, but just Brother Luke channel. You may be able to find it on the Church of the Eternally Secure channel, and you'll hear like some of my testimony. It's not too long. And you'll see, I've been through some real stuff. So this is like, yeah, I know it's a quality problem. But the thought of losing my home insurance and not being able to get insured, if you knew, I'm not exaggerating. I even wrote to the state provided home insurance, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it because my recent fire was too recent. Nobody wants a new client after they just suffered a full loss. So that was scary. I would have lost my home again. Again. Now I've lost three. The one I was in, I didn't really lose, but the city came and said, eminent domain. Here, take this money. We got to take your house so we can bulldoze it down and create some little waterwaying office and expand the highway. So they did that. And then I bought that house, which I loved. And I was only in it, like, what was it, 5 years? And it burns down. And it was an old home, but it was very big and spacious, and we loved it. And our neighbor was a Baptist church. We really loved it. But, now I bought this smaller house. I wasn't crazy about the house. It really was a step down for me. I like old, big, spacious homes, and it felt really cramped to me. And it's in a little suburban area in the country here, and it's closer to my family, so there were benefits to it. But I really was okay because I was going to be able to do my physical therapy at home. So, in any case, the reason I'm sharing this one is because it makes the point without being too, and so I'm sharing it as an example of letting letting go of something sometimes. Like sometimes I can't discern what is an attack from the enemy and what God is allowing through his will if he's molding me or guiding me in another direction. So I have to take time and just respond as it goes and pray on it. And so I texted her. I was like, just calm me down. I'm being ridiculous. I'm just really worried about panic because I can't get insurance. If they cut me off, which they're saying they're going to do, if I don't come up with this huge amount of money. I had prayed for a home to leave for my son many years ago. I had no idea how I would do it because I had lost everything from all the years I worked in Hollywood. I'd gone through all my money and I'd lost my cars and my home and everything. You guys know that. And I knew living on such low income that I would never even afford to even pay a mortgage or even rent a place. I don't make enough to rent a place. Um, but I heard God say, because I said, this is not, I don't care about me. If you want to put me in a ghetto and have me struggle month to month to pay it, I'm fine because I trust you. But I really want to do what it says. And it says that a good parent leaves an inheritance to their children's children. And I don't have anything to leave my son. And I really heard him answer that. It's one of the times that I was sure he was going to do this. And I kept limiting him because I didn't want to be greedy, like, oh, I just want a big house. It wasn't like that. It was just like, I just want my son provided for. He's lost his dad. I need to take care of him. And that prayer was answered and some miraculous stuff happened. I was able to have that happen, right? So to lose it is just, I can't do it. And then I thought, what if God uses all things for the good of those who love him? I got to trust him here. And I thought, what if with God, knowing the future, what if he's saving me from a big lawsuit? What if he's saving me from somebody I care about getting hurt or drowning? I don't know why God allows or doesn't allow things. Maybe he's doing this, but I know one thing. He does all things for the good of those who love him, and he knows our future. And I know this. And I've told people this before. Don't be devastated by that. Don't be mad that your tire blew out. He might have saved you from an accident in the next mile. He might have, you don't know what he saved you from. So don't hate the inconvenience. Roll with it, man. Roll with it. Be joyful. And I say before, don't be a puppet of circumstance. Choose to be joyful. Despite what's going on, it doesn't seem to be going your way. And thank God some things didn't go my way in the past. You know, we we make dumb decisions sometimes. I'm glad they didn't go my way. But I just wanted to give you this mindset that sometimes we do have a dream or a goal and it's not going to work out. And I'm not saying give up, but certain doors get closed and they're like shut. So let it go. Let it go and let yourself be led by God in another direction and do that in peace. Because we got to trust that God is for us. He has plans for us, and sometimes our plans aren't his. So we got to let it happen, and I got a lot more peace around it. And I hope you don't think I'm silly or superficial because it's about a pool. Like it's a big problem, I understand it sounds like quality problems, but it was a bigger issue than that. And I only wanted to use that because it was a bit lighthearted. It's not so devastating like my other stuff. And I just I think to myself, you tell people this, you've comforted people with this. You need to step into that yourself. And so I did. And then when I texted my friend, he wrote back, God's timing. And I was like, because he's right. Because he's right. But I knew that. It was confirmation. So instead of putting what I was going to put up remember I put a quote up today saying, a ship may be safe staying in the harbor, but that's not what ships are built for. That it was put on my heart to go ahead and do a short because I had done a whole video on it. So I'll keep it and maybe put it up on another morning. But I wanted to put this up because it just happened and I thought I could apply how I dealt with it without being too devastated because I really had a dream, a goal for this home. And that was the main thing because it was a small house and I like the big old country houses. And remember, it's all for my son. It's not because I'm not grateful. I am so grateful. I was homeless. I had a lot of stuff that I used to have. A couple Mercedes, had a nice place in the hills. I worked as a movie producer for many years in LA, but I lost it all. So I don't care about stuff. I've got it and lost it. But being disabled, I'm limited to what I can do, and I want my son to be cared for. So that's why it was hitting my heart so much is I want him happy. He's been through so much. And so it it seemed like another attack, another diversion to get me anxious and frustrated. But I'm just going to trust God on this. So I wanted to read you a verse. And I'm sorry it's so long, you guys, but I got to kind of explain what happened and tell you where my mindset was and how I came out of that mindset back to out of my flesh and back to the spirit. Because we can, the day after the fire, I was like, even if he kill me, yet will I trust him. I've lost nothing. It's all replaceable. Except the kitties. I was devastated. But he gave me strength. So it's not that I don't trust him or anything. It's just sometimes we can all get in our flesh and be like, no, but I want that and I was planning on that and I had put money in that. Let it go. I gotta let it go. And my dad a long time ago said, just fill it up, move on. Don't want, it's gonna be a financial burden and blah blah blah. And I didn't. And I was stubborn and I was going to do it my way. And this is how it turned out. So we have to have this mindset. Just let it go. It's okay. God's got something else for us to do. And so I'm going to read this in James chapter 4. You know, we got to choose to have joy, people. Choose to have peace. I had someone say recently when I was ministering to him, he said, well, I'll be happy. I refuse to be happy till I get this such and such I want. And I was like, wow, you're just choosing to be miserable. It's really bad. It's like, okay, well, that's on you. Just remember, you're the one that's refusing to be joyful. So, just saying. We should be grateful, joyful, and a light at all times. And of course, we're human and we're going to grieve and go through terrible stuff. But I'm talking about in general, we can't have every little thing that's just life, bills or an unexpected expense or, stuff that's aggravating. Don't let it devastate you. Don't let it. I have one friend who said every time there's an extra bill that comes in, just suicidal. It's like, come on, man. You cannot let this stuff tear you to pieces. Our God is stronger. If we are weak, He's strong. You're actually stronger when you're weak because you're not relying on you. You're relying on His strength. So let me read this to you in James chapter 4. This is the attitude that I want us to have, including myself, which is why I told you I'm the one that had the problem in the mindset of getting in my flesh a little bit yesterday. And it's James chapter 4, starting at 13 to 17. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city, and continue there a year, and buy and sell and get gain. We're making plans, right? Whereas you know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor, that appeareth for a little time, and then vanish away. For that you ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live, and do this or that. But now ye rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good and do it not, to him it is sin. See, people don't always quote that verse in its context. Time is short. Don't wait and say, well, I'm going to do this stuff first, then I'll do good things. Then I'll help the poor. Then I'll No. Someone wrote me in the comments today, and I said, absolutely right. What you may not know what your purpose is, but Jesus told us, commanded us to preach the gospel and to be salt and light. That's to preserve His way and to be a light to the world. And then we get further things we're told to do through Paul, and that is, expose evil. Don't take part in it. And also to focus on things that are good and praiseworthy. Do not get sucked into conspiracy and fear and the dread and all the evil in the world. No. Don't fear anything but God. And He's your Father, and He loves you. So, I hope this helps you. We should have this attitude. We don't know if we're here tomorrow. Do what is good today. Don't wait. And you want me to tell you another thing that reminded me of. I'm always miserable when I'm thinking about me and what I want. Yes. It's always, I get more peace when I'm looking into what other people need, what I can do to be a blessing, rather than getting my way. So I wanted to share it with you. It's kind of embarrassing, but I hope that you took it in the spirit it was meant. Okay. Sorry it was long today. I know my average is going to be 5 to 7 minutes, but I couldn't put it in a 5 to 7 minute video. God bless you.